Hi there, it's Kristen from k.becca, and today I'll be showing you how to make these cute personalized rainbow treat bags. We're going to start this project in Silhouette Design Studio, and the two cut files that I'll be using for this project are the Cascade Rainbow A2 card kit and the Scallop Top treat bag. Both are available in the k.becca shop and also over in the Silhouette online shop, and I'll include all of the links in the area below the video. I'm going to pop back over to the rainbow card kit and ungroup the pieces. And after I do that, you'll see boxes pop up around all of the individual pieces. We are only going to need 3 pieces from the kit for this project, and those are the cloud, one of the strips from the rainbow, and the base of the rainbow piece. First, I'll click the cloud to select it, then I'll press the Shift key and click on the other 2 pieces to select those 2. Once all of the pieces are selected, I'll press Ctrl or Command plus C to copy them, and then I'm going to paste them into a new file by pressing Ctrl or Command plus V. After that, I'll move all of the pieces to the top of the page. The pieces are just the right size for a card, but they're a little too large for the treat bag, so I'm going to resize them down a bit. I'll click on the cloud to select it, then I'll go to the menu at the top right of the screen and click the Scale button to open the menu. I'll resize the cloud to 80% of its original size by typing 80 into the scale input area and clicking the Apply button. Then I'll do the same thing with the other 2 pieces, also resizing them to 80% of their original size. After I'm finished resizing the pieces, I'll copy the cloud and paste it into a new file. Then I'll choose the Text tool and go over to the Font Style area on the right of the screen so I can choose a font. I want something cute and fun for this project, so I'll choose the Learning Curve Pro font, which is a free font. I'll have the link to where you can download it in the area below the video. I'll type out a name, but you can see that the default point size for the font is too large to fit onto the cloud. So I'll click out of the text area and then I'll click on the name to select it. After that, I can resize the text in the text size area. I'll size it down to 45 points, which is a good fit and is small enough that you can personalize the cloud with names that are a bit longer too. Now I want to center the name on the cloud, so I'll click and drag to select both the cloud and the name. Then I'll click on the Align button to open the Align window. I'll click Align Center to center it horizontally, and then I'll click Align Middle to center it vertically. As it is now, the name is set to cut, and we just want it to print. So I'll click the name to select it, and then I'll click the Cut Settings button to open the menu. I'll set the cut style to no cut, and then I want to give it some color. So I'll click the Fill Color menu button to open the Fill Color window, and I'm going to choose a middle gray color for this. I was originally going to go with black, but I wanted something a little bit softer, and this gray is a happy medium. Since this is a print and cut shape, I'll click on the Registration Marks menu button to open the window, and I'll choose Type 1 from the Registration Marks style dropdown because I'll be using a Silhouette Cameo to cut these. You want to make sure to keep everything that you'll be printing and cutting inside those registration marks. I'm going to move the cloud to right inside the marks, and then I'll copy and paste the cloud and the name so I can make another personalized cloud. I'll move it right beside the first cloud, and to change the name, I can just double-click on the name to activate it and type in the new name. I'll need to center the new name, so I'll open the Align window again and center it horizontally. Technically, I don't need to center it again vertically because it should still be centered from earlier, but I still always find myself clicking Align Middle anyway, just in case. After I'm finished with the second cloud, I'll click and drag to select both clouds. Then I'll copy and paste them and move them down under the first 2 clouds so I can continue making personalized clouds for all of the names that I need. You should be able to get 8 clouds per page and up to 10 if you rotate a couple of the clouds 90 degrees to fit. I'll finish up the clouds and then I'll print them on my printer and cut them with my Cameo. I also need to be sure to cut the rainbow strips and base, so I'll pop back over to that file. I try and cut the base from a cardstock that's similar in color to the cardstock that I'll be using for the rest of the treat bag. I'll be using a light aqua for the bag, so I'll cut the rainbow base from a slightly darker aqua cardstock, but white cardstock would work well here too. This is a great project to make a bunch of, because you can copy and paste the base and the rainbow strip as many times as you have boxes to make. You just want to be sure to cut 1 strip from each color that you'll be using in the rainbow. I'm using 7 different colors, so I'll have to cut strips from 7 different pieces of cardstock. But I can cut a bunch at once, and then I assemble the rainbows all at once. The only thing left to do before I start cutting the pieces is to remove the circle handles from the treat bag cut file. I'll select the shape and ungroup it, and you'll see boxes appear around all of the individual pieces after I do that. Then, I'll simply click on a circle and press backspace to delete it. After I've deleted both handles, I'm ready to print out my clouds, then cut all of the pieces that I'll need for the treat bags. I'm going to do that, and I'll see you on the flip side. Okay, so I've cut all of the pieces that I'll need for my treat bags, including the personalized cloud pieces. Besides those, I'll just need some adhesive to assemble the bags. I'll be using Tombow Mono-Multi liquid glue plus a double-sided adhesive runner. First, I'm going to assemble the rainbow, so I'll set aside the treat bag piece for the time being and grab the rainbow base piece. Then I'm going to take the Tombow Mono-Multi glue and run a thin line of glue down the left side of the base piece. You really don't need a lot of glue here because you don't want glue to spooge out the sides when you press the rainbow strip in place, so you'll see that I'm just adding a very thin line of it. After I've added the glue, I'll take my first strip and line it up right along the left side of the base. Once the strip is in place, I'll press it down to adhere it. And you'll notice that a little glue does spooge out right at the top because I had a little more glue in that area. It's not a big deal because it's not a lot of glue, but if it is, you can always take your fingernail and scrape off the excess glue. I'll continue adding glue to the base piece and adhering the strips in rainbow order one at a time. I found that if I tried adding glue to the entire base at once, areas of it would start drying out before I could adhere the paper strips to it. This way, it's still a pretty quick process and I don't have to worry about the glue drying before I can get to it. After I finish gluing the last paper strip in place, the rainbow piece is finished. I'll set that aside for now, and next we'll put the treat bag together. You can use any treat bag template that you have for this, but I wanted to use the scallop top treat bag because I think it makes for a really cute look when it's paired with the rainbow. First, I'll fold the bag along all of the score lines. For the score lines that will be on the sides of the bag, I'll make sure to fold those in the opposite direction that I'm folding the other score lines, so they'll fold inward on the finished bag. After I finish folding along the score lines, I'll add double-sided adhesive to the narrow tab on the one end of the bag. I like to use a double-sided adhesive runner instead of liquid glue for the bag because it's an instant bond. If I were using liquid glue, I'd have to hold things in place until the glue dried enough, and I've found that sometimes it can be tricky to do this because things tend to want to slide around. But the adhesive that you use is totally up to you. After I add adhesive to the tab, I'll fold it around and line it up with the other side of the template. Once the two sides are lined up, I'll press the tab in place. For the bottom of the box, I'll fold all of the tabs outward. You'll notice that one of the larger tabs has sides that are slightly angled inward. The other large tab has straight sides, and this is the tab that will be adhered in place last. I'll place the bag down onto my work surface, bottom tabs out. Then I'll add some adhesive to each of the smaller side tabs. You don't need to completely cover the tabs with adhesive, just make sure that you have 2 or 3 good strips of it so the finished bag will be sturdier. After I'm done adding adhesive to the smaller tabs, I'll fold them inward and I'll press the larger tab with the slightly angled sides in place over top, making sure to line it up so the bag keeps its shape. Then I'll turn the bag over and reach inside and firmly press those smaller tabs in place. After that, I'll turn the bag on my work surface so the inside of the final large tab is facing upward. I'll place adhesive on the tab and then fold it over the other tab, making sure to line it up before I press it in place. Finally, I'll reinforce those inward folds on the sides, and then the bag is finished. All we need to do now is attach the rainbow and the cloud to the bag. First, I'll cover the back of the rainbow with double-sided adhesive. If you want more wiggle room to move this piece around, then you can also use liquid glue here. Next, I'll line the rainbow up at the very top center of the bag and press it in place. To finish the bag, I'll add double-sided adhesive to the back of one of the clouds, and I'll center it at the bottom of the rainbow and press it in place. The cloud will be raised slightly from the surface of the bag since it's attached to the rainbow, so you really only need to put adhesive on the top center of the back of the cloud before you adhere it, because that's the only part of the cloud that will be making contact with anything. After the cloud is attached, the treat bag is finished. I think that these would make really fun kids' birthday party favors, and they would also look sweet tucked into Easter gift baskets. Or you could make just one and use it to package a special treat for a friend. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you'd like to see more die cutting and cute packaging videos, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll tune in again soon.